Welcome back to Duck Augment, the Warframe series that highlights some of the worst augments in Warframe while offering suggestions on how I feel they should be buffed to become more useful. In this episode, we will be looking at an augment mod for Zephyr's tornado ability, Funnel Clouds, which removes the ability to pick up enemies and focuses on creating more of them on a cast. First, the positives. Tornadoes normally have a mind of their own and slowly drift around in the general direction of enemies, going through walls and sometimes going far away from enemies fighting you actually are. This augment allows Zephyr to cast 12 of these tornadoes in total, allowing her to spread light damage and status procs over a much larger area. In addition, while lifting enemies takes them out of battle, it normally makes them also hard to hit with non-AoE weapons, so this augment eliminates that frustration at the cost of eliminating that crowd control. Now, for why this augment is on this series. Zephyr's tornado ability on its own is a fairly weak ability, and especially weak for a fourth ability. Tornadoes will wander, deal low damage, and their pull range is low and not affected by power range. In some ways, funnily enough, the augment makes the ability more useful as enemies tumbling around and thrown in the air or across the map get out of range of the tornadoes and slow down missions like defense. While the tornado's damage is still low, as well as the low chance to proc their stored elemental damage, this does make this ability slightly more useful. But being more useful is not the same as being useful in itself. You also must still shoot every tornado with the element you want, which now equals 12 in total, and allies can still force the tornadoes to store elements such as corrosive, viral, magnetic, or gas, which you may not want in certain situations. So the augment is bad, but how can DE fix it? One suggestion I have is increasing the crowd control of each tornado so the benefits of enemies not being thrown in the air can be exploited a bit more. Each tornado will now slow enemies' movement speed by 40% within 6 meters of a tornado affected by strength and range. This will force enemies to slow down to take more procs from the tornadoes, as well as reducing the DPS of enemies with weaponry. In addition, the decreased size of the tornadoes makes them closer to ground level, increasing their status chance to 50% to each tick of damage, unaffected by mods. This way, enemies are no longer thrown out of battle, but held in a group as they are dealt the elemental procs of your choice. Another suggestion I had is allowing the high winds of the tornadoes to affect enemy weapons. Weapons with travel time projectiles will now be curved towards the nearest tornado within 3 meters, veering off to that direction of the tornado spinning. This will cause enemies like the Corpus to have a hard time hitting allies that are near Zephyr's tornadoes. Enemies with hit scan bullets like most Grineer will instead suffer an accuracy loss when their aim of sight is to a player within the same base 3 meter range of the tornado, reducing their accuracy by a flat 40%. 60% of enemies' projectiles will still be unaffected, but this will be beneficial at higher levels even though they will still do the same damage. Funnel Clouds is one of those augments that adds a benefit to an already weak or useless ability while still remaining weak at the cost of a mod slot. While it can be improved, and I hope it will someday if DE reworks Zephyr, right now its only use is providing a bit of extra proc spreading to enemies. Thanks for watching.